And the goal of their final project was to combine everything they learned into one project. And then they came up with the ideas for these projects themselves, and then they made the code, right? And then they tested it on their sensors. And so that's their final project. And okay.
Yeah, question?
I don't
So
think,
why is this person?
I like my animations. You only have to click
So
twice per
yeah.
slide.
and how much work did students how much work did students put in their
I
own
know. But this must be
into their own
Yes.
I would
So
assume
I just put that out.
okay. Most of it, as you can see, most of it was their own work. And then we gave some help, and then some of them used ChatGPT to help them write their slides. Okay, and here's our presenter order. So first we have Wesley and Ethan.
I mean,
Can everyone give them a round of applause?
I have seen problems in English.
It's keyboard interrupt.
Mental illness, diaries, SMG 2023 app.
You want to sing?
yes.
What's it?
Red light, green light.
Lost in mental testing. Bus.
Wait, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Bus. Not
That's Wesley and I'm Ethan.
Yeah. Good.
Wow, who knew?
Who would have thought?
Can you stop touching our cookie?
Do the talking.
For the project, we used descent sensors. Descent sensors measure the
These are some
distance
cool
between
groups.
themselves and another object. They also use ultrasonic sensors to emit sound waves and measure their return time after hitting something and coming back. Measurements can be provided in different units, and distance sensors are used in many applications.
And that's a picture.
Press enter.
Wait, hold on, guys.
Okay. Press it once. Don't press it multiple times. It burns the
LEDs. LED stands for light emitting diode. It is a semiconductor device that emits light when an electric current is passed through it. LEDs are available in different colors such as red, green, blue, yellow, etc. They are commonly used as lighting, electronic displays, and indicators. Some advanced applications of LEDs include RGB lighting, matrix displays, and LED strips. For this project, we used green and red LEDs. And that's it.
Goals.
The goal was to have the LED randomly turn green or red every 5 seconds while the ultrasonic sound was traveling across a wooden board. We were also supposed to check if the sound was still moving when the light was red. If the sound was still moving during the red light, the computer would print the word lose. If the sound managed to reach the end of the board and back without moving during the red lights, the computer would print the word win. And that's it.
Yeah.
We didn't have any code, we didn't have time to do it. Yes, we messed up our
Okay.
wiring.
Okay, do you want to share your...
You don't come in video though.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, next up.
Someone next.
Yes, 10 out of 10.
Wait, do you guys want to speak your notes? Huh? But then you guys can sit back.
Who wants?
Alright, just get back.
Who's next?
But you guys can come sit here.
It's 2 slides long. Actually, 2 slides long because
Okay, do you guys want to introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Rachel, and I just
So
today
presenting
present
like
our
coding
final
stuff, which is LED plus weather APIs.
So we're gonna mostly combine LED and weather API. And how do
Press those. Yeah, sure.
so like we're gonna combine LED and APIs together. So for this project we're
We're
mainly
gonna do wiring, and there's like the blue thing is the LED, and then there's like the resistor next to it, and then the things that are like the wires and the LEDs are on is the breadboard, and then we connect it to the RPIs.
So we're mainly gonna follow two main steps is wiring, and the graph shows the LED, the resistor, the breadboard, and the Raspberry Pi, and the wire is connecting to it. We're gonna follow also coding, which is our next step.
So wait. So first we wired the LED to the Raspberry Pi and we set up the code.
For step number 2, we're getting the weather data from Open Weather of Disneyland LA. We use the current weather data of April 9, 2023, the date that we have like code class last week. We're using current weather data because it's like for free. For step 3, so since we're choosing JSON format list, so for the first 6 lines, we're getting the data from Open Weather, and starting from line 8, we are trying to get out the data that we want, which is feels like, out of the list of Maine. And then after that, we are converting Kelvin to Celsius because so Open Weather usually give us the data automatically as temperature is Kelvin.
So after we converted this Kelvin to Celsius, we use the code is like pretty much set up. We use the if state, we use the if method. Press something.
You can put the keyboard down.
So we used the if method to see if it feels like the temperature in the Disneyland. If it is if it feels like it's greater than 15 degrees Celsius, then it would blink for 10 seconds. But if it wasn't, if it was less than 15 degrees Celsius, then it would blink for 1 second. So after the LED blinks, we clean up the GPI and the project is done. Thanks for listening.
Okay, next one. Chen, you want to go up there? Alright.
So basically, I created this kind of weird project called food detector. And then basically this is the code I used. And what the code does is that whenever it senses any object just rapidly approaching the sensor, it says, it's a food. So this is my introduction, and our purpose is we need to detect the distance, the object, the food in this case, is from our sensor, and that's why we're using the Raspberry Pi and ultrasonic sensors. These are the libraries we use to help us code. Right here. So, for the setups, we use the GPIO.board. We used the 7th trigger pin and the 11th echo pin. And then we basically just set up pins as the output and the input. We set the trigger pin to low, and then we waited for 2 seconds. Okay, so to measure the distance, basically we did all this stuff. I can't do this. So we set the trigger pin to high, and then we waited for 10 microseconds, and then set the trigger pin back to low. Now once the echo pin is low, we basically set the pulse start time to the current time. And once the echo pin is high, we set the pulse end time to the current time. Then we calculate the post duration as the difference between the post end and post start. Calculate the distance in centimeters using the formula distance equals post duration times 17150. We rounded the distance to 2 decimal places, and then we printed the distance. So the food detection, we basically just calculated the difference between the current distance and the previous distance. If that difference is greater than or equal to 40, the console prints, it's a food! And then we basically set up the LED pin, and then turn it on, wait for a second, and turn it off. Then we clean up everything with GPIO.cleanup. And then that's basically the device. And yeah, that's it.
Does anyone have any questions?
So my question is, how can we differentiate whether this is food if by ultrasound?
So basically, it doesn't actually know whether or not it's food. It's just if something comes to the ultrasound detector quickly, the ultrasound detector can measure the distance. And if that distance is changing quickly, then the sensor just immediately assumes it's a food and says it's a food.
Okay. Yeah, it's like object. So do you know, is there any other sensor we can really detect whether it's food or any?
So I'm not too sure about other sensors, but I know that.
Yeah,
So I know that's ultrasound
yeah,
sensor.
probably maybe camera or something. We can use the image to detect. Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, we have Leo and Harry. Take the key. You can, the keyboard's over there.
Okay. Well, we'll present it in the back.
Yeah, we presented it. You can stand up there with the
It's okay.
Okay. I'm sure. Okay. I hope we haven't all been robbed before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yet, so many people in the country fall into the hands of burglars and robberies every day. Thus, the motion sensor was a big step in terms of household and property security. Thus, the objective of this project was to create a security light using an LED, a distance sensor, Raspberry Pi, and good old Python. So, the idea of a security light is to turn on whenever motion is detected. In this case, a light will turn on that will probably hinder the burglar's confidence. In this project, instead of using a camera detection system, a distance sensor is attached to the breadboard that points toward a certain monitored walkway. The distance sensor is paired with an LED. Every interval of time, a distance is returned to the code. If the distance is below expected, then someone must have passed through the wave's track and disturbed its distance. Then the LED turns on to signify what was stated above. So to do this, we combine this project with this project. Alright.
Okay. So yeah, a lot of code. Okay. So this we import the libraries and then state that blocked is it's not blocked. So block is equal to false. So while block is equal to false, like basically repeat until block is true. GPL assembled, GPL board, it's this thing. And then basically what happens here is what he said. This thing is the ultrasonic sensor. It points towards this walkway and it bounces back to return distance. If I walk past here, then it should light up. We haven't run the code yet, so. And then we do also want it to return the distance, just for clarification. And then this is the part where we determine whether the distance is too short or normal. So if the ref distance minus distance is greater than or equal to 20, then
nothing happens. But if it is low, then we do the pin up, so it goes. So Leo, run the code.
Alright.
Okay, so pretend I walk past here. It's returning distances. So
It
if
keeps
I-
returning values for the distance,
See?
and when you
Lights
walk
up.
past, then it lights briefly.
So if I just walk past it and then
It lights briefly.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, so my question is how, let's say if I install the sensor, so how can we get the initial distance?
Oh, so
we're using just this hallway as an example. So we
Yeah.
have a constant distance that we already established. But if this walkway is shorter, then we can just change the expected distance like
Okay,
lower
I
or
Okay.
So why pick 20? The previous distance and the current distance larger than 20. What was that piece code for?
So if this current distance, if it's less than the previous distance by at least 20, then someone passed.
The 20 is centimeter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically the sensor has a limitation. It's so less than 20, so it's not detectable. So it the ultrasound has a detect range.
Okay.
20 is the minimal, distance.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
That's all. Does anyone have any
Wiring.
questions or comments about presentations? Okay, I guess not. So that's it, and I'm gonna ask everyone to fill out the feedback form that I'm going to put on Classroom right now.
Right?
Yes, and
oh, stop playing GD.
yeah. Okay, and then that will help us know what classes you'll be interested in the future, maybe during the summer or during the fall. Yeah. No, I said out loud.
Benny 在吗？
No, he's in Florida.
那好吧，所有的 credit goes to 悠悠。
Okay, so until just take a bit of time to fill that out.
Yeah, well, we have our celebration. We're gonna have our
Cakes.
I filled it out.
yeah, 让领导来那个。
I'd say
我们有一个蛋糕。
我们要谢谢悠悠姐姐和小雨哥哥，我们高中是很忙的，然后每个礼拜要花很多时间，不光是跟你们，还要准备课程。
And the other TAs.
还有这2位。
耶耶耶 right nice right 你们俩小朋友叫什么名字啊？
今天。
哦，你我知道。对，正好的。
我要把这个打开。
好好。
我去对对对。
Jeez，应该戴口罩。
嗯。
要吗？我去给你拿，我有。
那幸好我应该有。
哪里啊，医生？
Oh, this one. 干嘛去了？
Is this ending early? Because I got a ton of crazy here.
Sure, you can leave.
No, it's like if they come at all, it just ends.
Yeah, you can leave.
就是没有 idea。
Unless you want cake.
Yeah.
走了一圈跟你儿子。
来哟，你给大家切那个蛋糕。
I want cake.
Well, actually, wait, you actually did? Because we just copy and pasted the code, didn't we?
Yeah, but I had to put in the. It's okay though.
Okay. Once you're done with your form, line up here.
Mostly like 10% B.
Have you finished your form? Where's the knife? I don't have a knife.
跟我一样的，就之前记得
What are we celebrating?
Yeah. 85. Chen, did you fill the form out? Alright. Yeah. Go get yours. Do I have to fill the form out?
No. Unless you want to like say something.
Oh, but this is a busing.
If we have extras, you can come get it.
Extras?
But like right now, everyone.
What's this stuff?
他会 fine tune this in the
This is a busing cake flavor. Black Forest cake is best.
啊，
Okay.
那说改
But then you can get it for
没有
free.
那么远，
对对对对，很期
I
待
mean,
做
red
对吧？
velvet is
再把它
你看看那个小一点，因为里面还有小朋友。
涂在水中，因为你出来以后再把它
Line up over here. What's the red stuff? Cherry.
其实我愿意涂，但是推荐我。
Go line up here. Seriously, I'm the only person who's like literally in my home.
I should wait till the other kids go.
Yeah, but like, you can make it for me.
写完以后，然后我给我
I don't have that. Okay. Sorry for my form.
给他们那个啊来先少一点，因为里面还有3个小朋友。
不是 yes speaker，但是如果你就可以更好的 prompt 它的话，对，我要加个什么 make it concise 啊 ，make it 比较就是说。